John, there is a plethora of new MOTU figure images, and we have been lucky enough to have been invited to talk about them with everyone today. Welcome to a special edition of Toy Geeks. All right, John, we got a lot to cover in this episode. This is the full checklist of everything that we will be covering, and it is a ton of MOTU Origins reveals as well as Masterverse reveals. And I want to thank Mattel for sending these images to us for free to review and look at and share our opinions on, and be able to share those opinions with all of you. So big thanks to Mattel for sending these images for us to look at. They want me to let you all know that these images are being revealed today, and I believe tomorrow, March 21st, is when you'll be able to start to pre-order these figures on many different retailers, online and otherwise, out there. So today's the big reveal day for all of these things, and then your ability to order them will start tomorrow. So John, what do you say we start jumping in this? Should we start with Origins?
Let's do it.
All right, here we go. First up is the Talon Fighter Point Dread set. Really excited to actually get official pictures of this because famously or unfamously, I saw this thing at Spiel Warenmesse. So these are our first official images. And John, I think these are the first time you're seeing these up close like this. Tell me, my friend, what are you feeling with this Talon Fighter?
Whoa. Okay. So that's a surprise. The double barrel laser gun being able to attach to the Point Dread.
Yep.
I mean, this looks incredible. There is so much vintage here. There's so much vintage inspired, but still, you know, the updates look. Oh my God. Wow. This looks so good. I love the plastic computer.
Right?
Upgrade from the cardboard.
I mean, we still got the sticker, so it still has kind of a retro feel to it. But
It still has the feel. Yeah, it looks like they got the same shade of gray as that vintage look. Wow. I'm blown away. Seeing this for the first time, I am blown away.
See, I'm so glad you're seeing, because I saw this at the German Toy Fair, and now you get to see it. So was I right to say like this thing was pretty like awesome?
Yeah, it's so it looks just like the vintage one, but it has everything I wanted it's the original to have. The sort of glass canopy.
Yep.
Instead of just open windows. But this looks just like the vintage one. This is exactly what I want with a new Talon Fighter.
Yep.
Wow.
And the build is a lot nicer too. So you got to hold this thing at the show. Like it feels a lot more solid. The vintage one just kind of just feels like a hollow piece of plastic.
Yep.
This one feels so much more solid in hand, and I like that they added the little control arms there. Can still fit 2 figures.
Oh yeah, you can see. Yep, I can see the control arms now. I didn't notice that before. You had mentioned it before.
Yep. Yeah, it is incredible.
And you mentioned that the other laser can swap out with the blue one.
Exactly. So I'm surprised I didn't show it here, but this, silver laser here on the top can, attach to the top of this. So you can swap it out. You can swap out the satellite dish for that kind of double cannon, which is pretty cool. And when it was on the bird, it kind of looked like, I think I said a Chrysler hood ornament.
Right.
Which is pretty awesome. Reminder that I believe these all will go up for pre-order or on different retailers tomorrow, March 21st. So just be on the lookout for that. For any of these, they will be going up March 21st for order with a multitude of different retailers. But this one is so exciting. It's a good day to be a MOTU fan, right, John?
It sure is. This has me wanting to buy 2.
Okay, why?
One to put on Grayskull,
Yep.
obviously, but
Yep.
another one just to have the Point Dread with the lasers on top to have like a separate battle station.
Ooh, I like that idea. I like that idea a lot. And yes,
What
the top does detach and attach to the Origins Castle Grayskull. I saw that in person. And yeah, so it works just like the vintage one, which is pretty cool. Even more so, I like that, and I think I mentioned this when I saw it last time. It has this little connector piece here that allows you, like, it kind of makes it more secure
Mhm.
on the Point Dread.
So there's not like a sag.
Yep, yep. It's really supported, which is nice.
This looks so good. What a way to kick it off.
Right? And again, according to Mattel, these are all part of the fall release schedule. But well, it remains to be seen when all those pre-orders go up and everything like that.
Mhm.
All right, John, want to keep moving here?
Yep, let's
We
do
probably
it.
spent a whole hour on this, but we should probably keep moving. We have 30 some odd reveals to get through here today. All right. Let's go to the next one. Let me pull it up here. Snake Armor Man at Arms. This is another one I saw at Spielwaren Messe, and it actually looks pretty similar to what I saw at the show. But clearly 2000X inspired, but they didn't shift too much around on it. But John, thoughts on this figure? I gotta admit, this one at the show, I was like, it's okay. But what's your thoughts?
Yeah, it's okay. I understand, they're sort of leaning heavy into the Snake Men battles and that storyline.
Mm-hmm.
I I mean, personally, I kind of hope that they do more, like more of the heroes as in
Yeah.
their snake armor, you know, um, alternate colors. I do I do like the blue helmet though.
The blue and the kind of the teal looks nice.
Yeah, I'm digging it. It's growing on me more and more the more I look at it.
Yeah,
I
no, you
think
look.
my only criticism
Mm-hmm.
would be to have his silver leg guard in his wrist gauntlet.
Yeah, I mean, I'm guessing probably the vintage toy still had the orange shin guard or something. But I would agree, if you're gonna just go all out silver.
Mhm.
Continuity be damned.
I like it though. I do like
Yeah.
it.
All right. Well, let's keep moving here, John, because we got a lot to get through. Next up, the Eternian Guard, but the Infiltrator Eternian Guard, I believe, is what they're calling it. This is the other one I saw at the German Toy Fair. So it's essentially the Eternian Guard, but we do have a snake face. Now, I believe this is an earlier, this looks a little bit different from what I saw at Spielwaren Messe. It looked a little more snake facey in person. So, but this one does look okay. But I think the one that I saw looked a little bit further along with the scales or whatever. But
Mhm.
I guess it remains to be seen. But John, thoughts here on the Eternian Infiltrator?
It might just be the photos, but his green skin almost looks a little bit darker than the original Eternian Guard from the deluxe pack.
Oh, you mean like just his suit or whatever, the green
Yeah,
suit?
just like the green body, the buck. It looks a little bit darker.
Yeah, it could be the lighting. I'd be surprised if they did a different green though, right?
Yeah, so yeah,
Maybe.
kind of. I mean, to just to keep everything, you know, cohesive across the
Yeah.
Eternian Guards, but even if it is darker, I like it.
Yeah. And then I love the silver.
Mhm.
Is this just a snake staff? Does it do anything else, John? Can you educate me on this, or is
It's
it's just
just
there?
I think it's just there. I
Okay.
really don't know what the what the snake staff does, if it's got
Uh-huh.
a magical power, if it bites people. I have no idea what the snake staff is meant to be, but it's fun.
It's fun. It is fun. Like, as a kid, I'm just like, I don't know what to do with this. But no, still, it's pretty cool. And a nice one to get. This next one, John, I'm so pumped because this is a top tier Snake Man character, one that is complicated to pull off, and I'm excited that it is part of the fall collection, and that is Squeeze.
Whoa.
And he's got a good reach there.
Yeah, he's got a good reach. You don't want to box him.
And, by the looks of it, it looks like it has the bendy arms going on there, which is great.
Yeah. Again, another great upgrade from the vintage figure. He looks just like the original.
Yeah.
But it looks like now, so the original one, if I remember right, the arms, like the bendy arms, it was just like one long solid tube.
Yes.
And it went through the torso. So you could actually like pull it a little bit and make one arm longer than the other. But that means they weren't like flexible, independent from each other very well. But this looks like he has jointed shoulders.
Yes.
So that they can twist a little bit better, independent from, so you do get that better bendability. Wow.
Yeah, I guess it's not articulation, right? But you're right. It is more independent bendability. There you go. TM. Good mark.
I should have that on the package in the burst.
Yes.
Independent bendability.
New feature. But yeah, it is incredible. I think especially if those two arms can like pop out and then be used on other figures,
Oh yeah.
Wouldn't that be sick?
Awesome. Let's hope so. Let's hope that's the he's modular.
Right, you're gonna have the ball joints there. You might as well. I mean, there's maybe some engineering reason why they can't. So, but it would be cool if it did.
Throw those on your Eternian Guard.
Right? But still, he looks great. I think he turned out great.
He does. Absolutely.
All right, next up, we've got another vintage, high demanded character in the MOTU Origins line, and love him or hate him, he's spiky. It's Spikor, and again, a very faithful recreation of the vintage figure with the updated articulation. John, I feel like you have a love-hate relationship with Spikor, but what's your thoughts here on this one?
I do, and it's mostly because like every time we get a Spikor, not much has ever changed. Like I think that there was a 2000X design Spikor.
Yeah.
If I remember right. Maybe a Staction. And anytime they ever changed him, I thought it was great. But it's like he is, it's always sort of the same, where the vintage was very much like the classics. This is just like an articulated vintage one. Don't get me wrong. I still love the figure.
Yeah.
I do wish that his trident was
pop out.
Yeah, like would pop out. So like when you twisted his waist, it would would shoot out a little bit. But still one step closer to the completed vintage series.
Yes, exactly. We've got ourselves another Snake Man, a very expensive vintage Snake Man, and that's because it is Snake Face. So we got two head sculpts, so it doesn't have the action feature, but I really dig how they pulled off the kind of the Medusa snakes coming out of his face, because he's Snake Face. But John, thoughts on this figure?
I love Snake Face. I love the color palette for Snake Face, the gray body with the green highlights and the black vested armor. I mean, do we know if the front portions move out? They kind of look like they are separate pieces on his chest.
So
that the snakes.
Well, I think it's a separate head sculpt, right? And you just put it on.
No, the one's on his chest that would like fold down.
Oh, I don't. Well, no, it looks like it does. It looks like you can just pull them out.
Yeah.
I'm surprised I didn't take a picture of that. We don't have a picture of it.
Well, but it looks like
they do.
They look like they do. Yeah.
Yeah.
He looks awesome. I love Snakeface.
He looks really good. This is one of the few vintage figures that I never found or found at a reasonable price. So this will be my first Snakeface ever. Whenever I pick this one up, so I'm excited about that because, again, he looks just like a perfect recreation of the vintage one, but with the added articulation.
Yep, absolutely.
Thoughts on having two separate head sculpts with the snakes out, snakes in? You get added articulation on the head, but you do lose the action feature. Thoughts on why they chose this, or this choice they made versus going with the action feature?
I mean, probably similar with the tongue lasher, so we can get a head neck articulation. With this figure, I think it's a good trade up to just to have a second head, just like the classics version. It's, you know, probably the best option instead of having the wheel or the lever that you would push up to have the snakes come out of his eyes. Because I think maybe at that point it would just be too ambitious. It would be a bigger project. I think this might be set it up to a higher price point. So I think just having a second head is good.
Yeah, I think for sure. And to me, it's just like you can see in these poses, just like the head turned to the side. Like I think you're gaining a lot more with this one, and I do think that for sure.
A lot more emotion.
Exactly, and that's what we're looking for in our snake people. Emotion. All right, let's move along here, John. I know I'm pretty sure this is a fan favorite for you. If I am mistaken, please feel free to tell me. Jay, you don't know me. But it is Dragon Blaster Skeletor, looking mighty nice. John, thoughts?
You are correct, Jay. I love this figure. It's nice to see the dragon attached. I know we got that dragon in another figure, or something very similar. Was it one of the WWE? Universe figures. So seeing it attached to the figure properly, I am so excited for this. And I hope that you can take that dragon's head off and put it on a figure, like the body of a figure. So you can make it like a Dragon Man.
Oh, dang. All right, Mattel, I know this is probably already production, so probably won't, but you should have. Be a future version or something, because now I want it to do that. I mean, it has the little squirt gun looking feature there. So, do you think it'll have the full Dragon Blaster? We don't know. We don't know until we see it, but it looks like it.
We don't know. That was the same tech for Cobra Khan, and we didn't get that.
But maybe we'll get it here.
Maybe you're telling me there's a chance.
Oh, yeah. Hold on. I got the button for you.
So you're telling me there's a chance.
But the colors look great. It really pops. You have the chains, the locks. It looks good. This looks really good.
Yeah, and this looks so much like the vintage counterpart again, where they kept the lock looking the same, the wrist collar piece for the chain, man, and it looks like it's a real metal chain, not we can't say that for certain, but it looks metal.
That looks pretty metal to me. Or they took the new vac metal technology and applied it to
a chain,
to
a plastic chain.
This is a lot more work than it's worth to just make a metal one, but it looks legit. It looks really, really good. So I love that. All right, next up, I believe this was or I don't want to say spoiled so much as leaked, because there was somewhere a prototype of it showed up, I believe, if I'm remembering all the leak news correctly. But we got ourselves the mini comics Manny faces. And John, I think this one blows the other one out of the water. The faces look so much cooler on this one compared to the other one. So the mini comics one's a bit hit or miss for me, but this one looks like a hit. What's your thoughts?
Yep. This will be taking the place of Manny Faces as he stands in my collection. Because the way that I have everything, mini comics figures are in their own portion, along with the Battleground Evelyn, alternate Trapjaw, Cronus, but the regular Manny Faces will be taking a step back and the mini comic Manny Faces will be put in the proper collection because I love this. That monster face is so good.
Yep, agreed. The monster face looks great. The just regular Manny Face's face looks so good. Like it looks. I think it's not. I don't want to knock too hard on the first one, but I don't know. It looks very flat, and this just has more depth to it. And the colors look better,
and the better flesh tone on the chest and the arms and hands over the more yellow look that the regular Manny Faces has. So this looks more like that is just his mechanical assembly over his like naked torso rather than like a bodysuit or something.
Yep.
I dig this big time.
Yeah. And it looks so good. It looks really, really good. So another fantastic Origins figure. I think it's a must buy. And I haven't been able to say that about every mini comic. So I was like, it's okay. I guess I'm buying the whole wave. I'll get it or something, but still,
the robot face looks good too. Really good.
Yeah, exactly. The robot, it looks menacing. It looks like it could murder you. All right, this next one, John, I think we've known about it. I think they've shown it at different shows and stuff like that. I believe it was announced officially as a Walmart exclusive. But we got some images of Moss Man fully flocked. And, with these high-res images, John, this flocking looks amazing.
It looks so much more fuzzy than the original one. And maybe it's only because like every time I get an original one, it's always like matted and covered in carpet fur and all this other stuff. And it's so hard to clean up.
Lint and
yeah. He looks great, especially with that yellow armor. He's popping.
The yellow armor really makes it here. And, if you don't know, that yellow armor was part of the weapons pack that you could buy. And since this is a Beastman, repaint or reflock, it fits well with them. But if you want to go classic mode, I mean, that looks like it's straight off the card back, like art straight off the card back.
Yep, absolutely. And this might be another one where I do get two, so I can have a Moss Man in his yellow Beastman armor, and then a plain Moss Man that would be more like a Moss Warrior with the that Lords of Power style flock.
Yes, yeah. So this one, this was the Lords of Power Beastman head. I wish they would have flocked it though. Maybe there was enough room to flock on this head because it's a little squattier, but that's the only nitpick I would do here is I wish it was flocked.
Yeah, it's because that has such a good beard on it. That would be perfect. He would look. It would be so full. It would be a little Santa Claus like.
Yes. So I'm sure there's probably some technical reason why they couldn't or something. But I think that would have set this thing to a higher level for sure.
I think I like this head more than the Lords of Power Beastman head. I think it looks better in green than it does in that orange.
Oh yeah. No, I agree. And this will be the third time they've used it because we had the retail Lords of Power, which was red, and then we had the PowerCon Lords of Power one that was the orange, right?
Yeah.
But there looks like there's a little wash on it too, just kind of highlight some of the right. It looks like it has a wash a little bit.
Yeah, like a little bit, or maybe it might just be the shadowing. But another thing is the amount of flocking on the legs. It makes the articulation almost hidden.
Yes,
and that is really cool.
Not to knock classics here, but they were too scared to get that close to their articulation.
Yep, we had some ball patches.
I wonder though, like Is this like a pose once and then don't mess with it kind of situation? I mean, we won't know until we have them in hand. But. All right, let's move on to the next thing here. John, the next release is, again, I think something we've known about for a while, but I was surprised with the colorway they went with it. But it's the Skeletor and Screech 2-pack. And since we've had quite a few Skeletors, I like the colorway they went with this. They went with something a little bit different. I think maybe we would have preferred a Disco Skeletor, but he looks really good. And it looks like he has an articulated jaw, which is a first for an Origins figure. Look at it, it's articulated.
Oh yeah. Is it? It's not going to be a second head, right? Because the first picture is all the accessories separate.
Yeah.
So he doesn't have a second head.
No second head. That looks like an articulated jaw.
Well, all right. I'll take that.
Like that. Right? Like that's pretty cool. Like not to knock the Tila Zor 2-pack, but it was an okay Tila. It was fine, but it wasn't like it's Tila's. I gotta have 2 Tilas on my shelf now or something. Do you think this separates it enough to where it's like, no, that's a really cool Skeletor?
Yep. It's almost a what would they call them? Like that? There was like a blood red Skeletor from 2000X. That was a repaint, just like Disco. Maybe this is their interpretation of that. But I really like that red highlight.
Yeah,
I do.
Okay, now do you? Oh, go ahead, John.
I will say this is a missed opportunity because we have that He-Man and Battle Cat set, the Battle Armor He-Man and Battle Cat 2-pack, where we got a vac metaled Battle Armor He-Man. I think this would have been the great opportunity to get a vac metal Battle Armor Skeletor.
Yes. Yep. No, I agree. I think you mentioned that like when we saw the
there was a list
somewhere or something, right? And they're like, oh, it'd be great if we could get, but maybe there's just something down the line. It'll be a Panther, Flock Panther with vac metal Battle Armor Skeletor pack down the line. Who knows? I mean, they can still get to it.
Yep.
But the addition here of the articulated jaw, I think, is really cool. And now the question is, okay, well, when are you going to do that with a regular Skeletor head? Because maybe I want that one now.
Right. Can we just get a head pack?
Yes.
Where it's a purple hood and articulated jaw?
Well, John, the next reveal, no, they don't have that here. But a multi-head pack would be great. It would be great. It was great in the classics line. It'd be really cool to have here. All right, next up. Snake Man multi-pack. I believe some listing of this people don't really know what's in it. And I think some of these were kind of customs in that Comic-Con Eternia display. I don't know if anything specific like this was in there. I can't remember now off the top of my head. But we finally got some just generic Snake Men army builders. And then we got kind of a different colorway version of Snake Armor He-Man with some vac metal to go along with him. And frankly, I'd argue I have the Snake Armor He-Man. This one looks a little bit better because it's not, I don't know, the colors make it nicer, I think. But John, what's your thoughts here?
Yeah, I'm looking at mine as well. And yeah, I like that one more. I like the darker shin guards from the boots up all the way to the knee, where it's just that one dark color. I like that a little bit more than the first one. His claw, I like that green rather than the goldish yellow. And the vac metal sword, I wonder if it's going to be a die cast or if...
Ooh, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
If I had to guess, it would probably be vac metal, but we won't know till we know. But it looks good. Thoughts on the Extras Army Builder Snake Man?
They look amazing. I love that blue guy.
Yeah.
Like that is so it's like reminiscent of a Blacklight poster.
Yes. I love that take.
And it looks amazing. I love the hooded Cobra Khan head on the Ratlor neck. It looks so menacing, and like that should be... He looks like he should be like a commander of the Snake Men.
Right?
Like he's that makes him look so hulking, and
Yep.
Like that is the one that nobody messes with.
I wouldn't.
There's so much opportunity for great part swapping on these figures.
Oh yeah, 100%, 100%.
And the other two look good. You know, they look like, you know, they're like the minions.
Yeah, exactly.
They are who you send in first.
Your red shirts, if you will.
Right.
Yeah, this set looks freaking cool.
Yeah.
So cool.
Heavy on the Snake Man. I like it.
Yeah. Right? I remember how I was like, oh, do we Snake Man yet?
I know. For a while it was like, we're gonna get we only got one Horde figure. We're never gonna get Snake Men. And now we're getting a deluge of Snake Men.
Yes, it's just like whoever's at the team, there's like, oh, you want to complain about no Snake Man? Here you go. Oh, Snake Man. Oh my god. All right, we got another multi-pack here, another Rulers of the Sun multi-pack. And I feel like we were either theorizing about, you know, what these would be, or maybe there was I don't know, some listing somewhere, some speculation. But we've got more Rulers of the Sun figures.
There, you know, I understand like having the Rulers of the Sun and the Sun Man lineage, but to me, these are just like all new MOTU characters.
Yes.
And like I dig all of their accessories. I love the Rulers of the Sun figures.
They're just fun. They just have like that 80. Again, we've talked about it before. It is that there was other figures that you could kind of say, oh, they're part of the MOTU universe, but they weren't really. And that's what I've loved about all of these so far is that they've kind of done just that. So if you have that vintage picture, which I'm showing right now, you got Holographo. He's a futuristic scientist. And we've got Kicktoe, expert kickboxer. And we got Zapman, micro laser specialist. So those are the three that are in this pack. And if you're looking at the vintage figures, they're pretty much straight on recreations in this 3-pack. And really, that gets us most, if not all, of those big. I think that's everybody. Yeah.
Yeah, because Duplico is out there.
Yep.
There was one more in that picture.
You got Boltman. Oh, Hypno,
yeah.
Sitting right now too.
So yeah, this will be it for, I mean, at least the characters that were done.
Yep.
In that original picture, whether or not we get more, I hope we do. I think it'd be fun to get I think it'd be fun to get a brand new vehicle designed that is Sunman inspired.
Yes, I love that idea. Absolutely love it. I also love that Holographo. Make sure, Holographo. His chest is still a lenticular sticker.
Oh, cool.
You can kind of see it in the images. Here,
oh yeah, right there you can.
Real close. Yeah, there you go. You can see it. Which is good news, I think, for whenever we get to
a Cyclone.
Thank you. Good Lord. But I love the extra detail here, especially on what's this? Hold on. Zapman.
Yep.
You can see the little electrical charges on his little pawns. So before it's just like, oh, they're just, chest pawns, but you can actually see they look like almost like little Frankenstein Tesla coils. Which is really, really cool. And yeah, they're just cool. They got this, 80s, 90s vibe, and I freaking love them.
Yep. They're like sci-fi wrestling team.
Yes. So yeah, the Rulers of the Sun 3-pack. John, we've got another multi-pack. And this one I know you're going to be excited about because I guess the listings for this went up a while ago, and we're like, when are they going to actually show these figures? And I think I believe you said, I was like, well, maybe they want to pivot and make them glow in the dark. And you're like, oh, that would be amazing. They have to be. Okay, well, they can't be. They have to be glow in the dark. Well, John, the Skeleton Warriors 2-pack. A glow in the dark, baby.
Thank God. Woo-hoo, boy, look at that. You could see the green coming off of him.
Now, again, if they use the same material that they use for Scare Glow, these are gonna be freaking amazing.
Yep.
Like, absolutely incredible.
You will not need your light bulbs anymore.
Just get multiple packs of these.
Just get a room full of these.
Oh my God. They look pretty faithful to the art, to what we saw at Comic-Con in that display. They look freaking awesome. John, what's your thoughts, just the look of the figures and everything?
Exactly what I wanted. They are that they have a vintage look. They have an 80s look.
Yes.
Where, like there's a lot of skeleton figures out there where they just try to make them more exactly like a skeleton. Like they're a little too skeletal.
Yes.
Where these look like they are, they're great figures. They're not too much realism for a skeleton. They're very they fit in so well.
Yep.
They fit in really, really well. I love that armor too. And it almost looks it's a little bit like Horde armor, but still not.
Yep. You can kind of just they could be a part of any faction if you wanted them to be,
And even the color of the plastic non-glowing still looks really good.
Yeah. And I like that they did 2 different sets of color on the armor, right? So, if you get multiple packs of these things, like it really helps diversify the look of the army instead of just them all being exactly the same.
Right.
So,
yeah. Really good army builders.
You got the spear, you got the halberd, you got the mace, the sword, the shield. Like, you could get I don't know, 20 of these things and it not seem repetitive,
Yep. Yeah, because you could take the armor off. Maybe, I don't know if that armor comes off. I assume the top portion does.
Yeah, I would assume so.
And have the
bare-chested
minions, the bare-chested minions.
Yeah. It looks like the skirt is a part of the figure, but the top does look like it could come off. Which adds even more. You're 100% right.
You can take that arm off, put it on Skeletor. So when Keldor, when he was burned with the acid and his skin's melting off, and you can have a partial arm.
Yes, 100%. Like, to me, that's where this thing gets crazy. And it looks like there's the joints and everything. If these things are swappable, or at least even the arms and the head are swappable with other Origins figures, this set becomes, I don't know, they won't be able to stock enough of these things,
No.
That's freaking awesome. That's so cool.
Those look so good.
All right. I can't believe we still have more Origins and we still have Masterverse to get to. So next up, oh wait, no, that's Masterverse. So maybe we're rounding out to the end here. Yeah, actually, I think that'll wrap it up. They also sent pictures of Wave 13 that we've already seen. So I just, in an effort of saving time, we've already talked about these, but these are included as well. So just a reminder, all of these pictures are on geekdadlife.com. 2 separate posts, one for all the Origins reveals and one for all the Masterverse reveals. So you can go in and see all of these. But there's already in-hand reviews of these figures, and we've already shared our opinions. But John, think we need to add anything more to the Wave 12 figures?
Not really. We've gone over these. They all look amazing. I never noticed that King Rendor has 2 different legs. I didn't notice that before.
That too. And now again, I haven't watched the in-hand reviews. I kind of want to see it myself before I form an opinion to be on a video. But I like that feature. The Snake Trooper looks good. I like that, when he opens up, it still has the, the action feature from the Horde Trooper. Um, yeah, he's looking pretty good. And then we've also got Snake Tila, who again, something I don't think we mentioned the last time we talked about her is she has the 2000X style shoulder pads as well. And the shin guards, I believe, are different too. So, there's potential here for another Tila that's just straight up 2000X Tila, right?
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, because all the others are just the fuzzy boots and the regular shoulders. Because I think with those shoulders on the regular Tila, you wouldn't have room for her headdress.
Yep. Exactly. So she's looking really good. I can't wait to get my hands on that wave. And then, of course, Slamurai. We really dug Slamurai. And he's still looking really freaking cool. I love the blue bow. Like, it just, it pops.
It looks so good. Another
blue
figure
eyes.
that would make a great glow-in-the-dark feature too.
Yes. Maybe the plastic's so white it still glows in the dark. Oh my God. All right, John, we gotta keep going. We're at 45 minutes. We haven't touched a Masterverse figure yet. So let's start it off with the figure that blew me away at Spielvar and Messa. I talked about it to the point of nausea, probably for a lot of people. And that is the Deluxe Whiplash. And it is deluxe indeed. You've got additional armor, which kind of ties into his original sketch art. You have an actual like torch with a flame, axe, multiple hands, his classic spear. But I gotta admit, Sean, I think it looks really cool with his armor fully on there. He just looks like, and honestly, I don't even think these pictures do it justice. Like, it looked even better in person than these pictures. I think it's almost like over lighted in terms of there's a lot of reflection here that you just don't see in person. But I was blown away by this figure in person. John, this is your first time getting to see it. What's your thoughts?
Whiplash has always been one of my favorite figures from every iteration of Whiplash. The first time I saw 2000X was on I can't remember what magazine it was, but he was on the cover, and I was so enamored. This is the same feeling. I'm speechless for this Whiplash because he does look so good with and without, both with or without the armor. Another one that I got to get two of.
They know what they're doing. But I love the torch with like the flame effect. That's so cool.
I know. And the fact that like it's removable.
Yes.
So it could almost be like, a sort of a club, not necessarily a torch where he can just whack somebody with it. Yeah, because it looks just like another weapon without when it doesn't have the flame on it.
And I love the sculpting on the helmet. It's so close to the head. It doesn't look bulky on his head. It looks like it's almost sculpted as a part of his head. But then you can just take it off and then have a more classic looking Whiplash.
Wow. I can't get over this figure.
All the scaling, sculpting detail. The tail is articulated too.
Yeah, that picture where he's like down on one knee where the tail is still able to go out like that.
Yep.
Great playability. And just the posing you're going to be able to do with this. Oof.
Yeah. Yeah, I have an admission to make here, Sean. Like, I think all these reveals are great, but the Masterverse reveals is just the first of them. Origins has always been the front runner for me, but these Masterverse reveals, once we get all through with them, I wonder if you'll feel the same way I do. But I maybe the pendulum's swinging Masterverse's way, and this is just a great, first pass at what I think is a really great set of Masterverse figures coming as part of their fall release. The next one is arguably will be And I think we saw a picture of this, but it was not a very good picture because he kind of it was like posed in a really weird way. But that is the new Adventures Skeletor. And again, he's looking good.
Dang.
Like, look at that.
That is the card art right there.
Right?
They
Like
nailed this figure.
Like, he looks really good. Like, you know, this, whenever I do a MOTU Classics versus Masterverse on this one, this one's going to blow the Classics one away.
Yeah. Yeah. Just this Skeletor always deserved to be thinner. He was never like the super bulky Classics buck. I mean, he looked good, but it still wasn't really New Adventures
skin on him for the Classics one, which even made him more bulky.
That looks incredible.
And look at the unhelmeted head.
The paint on the face, the wash between the teeth looks. It's so good. This figure is like, it's spot on. This is like the New Adventures that if this was like a new series, right? If like New Adventures hadn't happened in 88 and was the new show, like this, it would be perfect. Where they say this is what Skeletor looks like now. He's in space, the part of the mutants, and this was the first pass at a New Adventure Skeletor. Chef's kiss.
Yep. Agreed. I just, it looks so good. It looks so good. I mean, even the back of the dang figure. I mean, look at all the techno bits there.
Wow.
I'm not a big New Adventures guy, but dang, like maybe I am now. Just
you've been converted.
Yeah.
Yeah, all that stuff between his spine, all the cables, man.
Yeah. It's so freaking cool. Another one that I believe there's been leaks and stuff like that. This was not at Spiel of RMS. I think people are like, well, did you see this there? Was this figure there? I was like, actually, no, it wasn't. But that is Buzz-Off. And again, I think another really freaking cool looking figure. The articulation in the claws, the sculpting, the additional armor that you can put on him. He just looks really, really good. And like Buzz-Off, who's kind of a silly character in the vintage line, but that's why we love him, looks like an actual badass in these sculpts. John, what's your thoughts here?
Yeah, I like the smaller wings, like the take on the two individual smaller wings rather than like how the vintage figure he had two like just big goofy looking wings.
Yes.
But I like this. I like the smaller. Wow. I think my one dislike is the head sculpt without the mask.
Okay.
The mouth looks weird.
It looks buggy to me, which I'm fine with. But what would you have preferred, I guess?
I don't know. I think it's just the mouth that's bothering me.
Yeah.
Because it almost looks like it's just a painted line without a sculpt.
And not
with like a ridge there where his mouth would separate. It just looks like a painted, straight across.
It's very faint. There is sculpting there but you're right, it's very faint. But with the mask, I think it looks really cool.
Yeah, I like that mask. I like the jewel on the chest. That's a nice addition.
Yep.
The claws are articulated?
Oh, dang. Oh my God, you're right.
There's a little joint in there in the
Yep.
Down where the two claws meet.
Got little articulated baby claws.
I'll take that in exchange for the weird mouth. That's an upgrade.
Oh,
that is awesome. Finally.
The first time ever. Right? Yep. I don't think we've ever gotten baby. We were excited when the Origins one, you could kind of move it around.
Right.
But it was still like this one solid piece. But yeah, this is
But now
articulated.
he can pinch finally.
Oh, this time, finally, he can pinch.
The technology finally caught up.
Sure, I thought we'd have flying cars by now, but real pinching action will do. But no,
he looks good. He looks really good.
Yeah, I agree. I think again, all these Masterverse figures are looking really sharp. All right, next up, let's just keep the claw train rolling because we got ourselves a clawful that is not awful. See what I did there? With a absolutely stunner of a paint job, sculpting, all the accessories that we're getting with him. Like, he doesn't look goofy. This looks like, 2000X, but still very classics inspired. And I think he looks absolutely fantastic. John, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, this is a great mashup of every clawful so far, where the very 2000X inspired head and the that orangey color for the armor that goes on him reminds me of Filmation. That claw is huge,
right?
That thing looks so crazy.
Like, it is cool. And it's just articulated, so it doesn't have the action feature, which I think is better because then you can pose it kind of fully closed or slightly open.
Yeah, rather than depending on that spring in there where, it was the fun action feature, but you couldn't.
Yes.
It wasn't really a posable thing.
No. Not a posable thumb, if you will.
Wow, they are killing it with this figure.
Right? So the articulation on the baby claw is awesome. And then the articulation on the big claw, like, and the wash. Like, criticism of some of the earlier Masterverse figures is like not a lot of wash. So it looks very plasticky or toy-y.
Yep.
I don't see that here at all.
No, this looks, the details pop a lot more. And then that pearlescent color that's on his belt and his boots or his feet, whatever you want to call those, is so good. Man, I can't believe that all this is happening. Honestly, I can't believe that these are like con level reveals happening right now.
So much stuff. And we're still not done, John. We're an hour in to go, and we haven't been hanging a long time on any of these figures.
I know.
But yeah, it is.
All those details on his chest look so good. The separation between the ab swivel, everything looks so fluid. It doesn't look, it doesn't make it look strange.
Well, I think because you can see here they sculpted below the armor cut, so it flows so much better because of that. Versus, I think the classics one, it just cut, right. I don't think it had any sculpting on his actual torso, the buck torso. It's very simple, but it's really effective in terms of making the armor functional with the ab rocker. But still, giving you that classic look.
Yep. And that back attachment looks pretty gnarly too.
And it just attaches over his neck, which is pretty neat. This next one is a really great version of a Revelation character, and I assume we'll see them in Revolution too. And that is the Prince Adam figure. And he looks freaking cool, man. I love his transition sword. Like with the little translucent and the sparklies, like, it's so cool. And I love his laughing face.
Another laughing Prince Adam.
Yes, exactly. But he's freaking cool. I'm glad we're still getting more Revelation figures. John, thoughts on this one?
It feels like a proper Prince Adam. Too many times we've gotten Prince Adam figures where just using the He-Man body, and it's like, well, Prince Adam isn't that jacked.
Yes.
Prince Adam is just like a child.
It's supposed to be kind of a Billy Batson kind of thing, right?
Right, right.
You know, like...
Well, here's a repainted white body He-Man just pretending he's Prince Adam. So this
never suspect that being He-Man.
Right? It was me the whole time. But he looks great regardless of, whatever series. If it's supposed to be Revelation, it's still, this will fit perfect for me in my collection as the standard Prince Adam.
Yeah.
This will be the Prince Adam for me.
Yeah. Agreed. All right. This next one I did see at Spiel of Iron Messe, and it looks great here. They're calling it the classic Merman, but it's definitely still Revelation inspired. But he looks really cool. And we've got ourselves the more classic looking Merman. John, thoughts here?
Another good example. I do miss the more basic armor rather than like all the stuff around the like the cowl around his neck. But it's still a really cool looking Merman.
Yeah.
It does look like he needs a little bit of wash though. He does look like he needs some wash in there. This one does look a little bit more plasticky, especially on the head and the face.
Yeah, you can tell this one maybe was sculpted at a different time because it doesn't have that same look as some of those other ones that we just looked at, Like it to me is where I think this is still based off an animation model, not a sculptor's model,
Right.
Where it's like we're trying to recreate what you saw on screen, which is an animated series, versus the Whiplash Clawful Buzz-Off is like we can just do whatever the hell we want and make it cool looking. So I think there's still room for another Merman, or maybe in that head pack where we get it to be a little more in style with the new Eternia type stuff.
Yeah, I'm happy though. I never picked up the eye patch Merman.
Neither did I.
So this will be my official Masterverse scale Merman.
This next one, I was actually shocked because I don't think this is the head sculpt I saw at the Nuremberg Toy Fair. It looked a little more not 2000X, but a Revelation style. This is more classic style. I think it's for the better. Other than I think this hair is a little askew. We'll talk about that in a second. But we got ourselves a classic blue Spikor with pink armor. Slightly looks like the orange axe has been pieced back together. He has the classic little bits and tape deck on his chest, and he looks really good. I really like this head sculpt. I just think the hair looks slightly like the wig's off a little bit. It needs to be centered. Other than that, I think it looks really, really good. John, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, the hair does look a little different. That's how they tell He-Man and Faker apart, Just the hair is always just a little different.
But I think the hair is right. I just think it's whenever they glued this one, I just think it's a shift over a little. The part's not down the middle if you look in the back there. But the He-Man head looks great.
Yeah, the He-Man head, the figure itself looks really good. Everything but that hair. Yep.
Which, maybe they're saying it's just conjecture. I have no idea. But it's a robot, so the wig's slightly off or something.
Every time Faker's running around, he's always dropping his hair.
Yeah, exactly.
Faker, you dropped your hair again.
It's part of his character. I like these little metal bits on his arm right here. That's cool.
Yeah. I like everything about this. Getting a blue skin Faker finally for this size. I like the other Faker, but chances are I'm going to take the orange armor off of that figure and put it on him.
Exactly. And that's why I like they went with the pink armor here, because a lot of people have the orange armored Deluxe Spikor that came out a year or two ago. So you just have options here. You have the pink sword with the pink armor, if you already have the previous figure, the orange armor and orange sword. So you can kind of pick and choose what you want to go with. And I think they both work great.
And I'll bet a nickel that pink armor would look good on Skeletor.
Whoo! I'd take that bet. For sure.
And another thing I just noticed, and it might just be the way that this photo is the flat hand, the slap hand that all these
Yes.
Masterverse figures come with. That
Mm-hmm.
one looks a little bit smaller because I think on the majority of all the Masterverse figures that come with that flat hand, it always looks too big.
Yeah.
And that hand looks like was downsized a little bit.
You're right. Or is it maybe the cufflinks are bigger, but you're right. It does look more in scale.
Mm-hmm. And I don't know why that is. Where
It looks
all those
that looks like a different sculpt. That hand looks smaller.
yeah, because the fingers are together a little bit on one side, right?
Yeah.
They don't look like the fingers are all separated. Or
Yep.
yeah, that is a new hand.
Good eye, John. Yeah.
Good. Let's get them going with the proper.
You're right. The open hand looks way better than that. Comically large slap hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
No.
Good.
Call out. That looks way better. All right. Next up is another figure that was at Nuremberg Toy Fair, and that is Clamp Champ. Again, based off of, I believe, the Revelation design. John, Clamp Champ is one of your favorite He-Man characters. What's your thoughts here on this version?
He looks awesome. He looks really good. I mean, Clamp Champ has kind of a basic look, Visto armor, just repainted. But anytime there's a new Clamp Champ, I am in. And it also does his arm go inside of that?
It
Or
looks like
it looks like it's in there rather than where he just holds like a peg off the bottom. And that works way better.
Or at least it covers it more. I wish we had a picture underneath that, but it does flow better into his hand for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if that's like a part of not a part of his hand, but if his hand can go inside of that,
yeah,
I like that.
Yeah, that's a good call out.
I think what I always liked most about Clamp Champ is his color palette with the red, the silver, and the blue.
Mm-hmm. And the light blue, yeah, 100%.
Yep.
Really good colorways. Iconic character from the original line. A rare figure from the original line. He looks really good here. All right, let's go to the next one. This one, John, I think is another one of those ones that could blow the Classics figure out of the water. And I think the Classics figure is absolutely fantastic.
Oh.
It's an iconic bad guy. He's looking iconic here. Webstor.
Whoa.
And tell me that guy doesn't look freaking like awesome.
Look at that face.
Right?
Whoa.
Like there's like a pearlescentness to the eyes.
Mm-hmm. The extra eyes are so much more pronounced.
Yes.
Than any other Webstor figure yet. This looks incredible. Whew. Yeah. This might be the better of any so far. Better than Classics.
And some people might not like the switch of his grappling hook being a gun instead of on his back.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say the Classics one, it's just kind of string. It doesn't have the action feature, so you just kind of wrap it all up, and he kind of holds it, and it's. I get you're trying to have that look of the vintage one, but as an action figure that you're putting on a shelf, it looks kind of silly.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it looks cooler here as part of his gun. It was just basically a repainted Grayskull gun. And I like how they incorporated the grappling hook into that gun. And I think it looks really good here. And it allows his pack just to be the additional spider arms, which is pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I like the grappling gun. Because like you said, with every Webstor figure, even the vintage one, you always have to wrap the string around the backpack, and it's just like, what do I do with all? I got 18 feet of string here. What do I do with all this? But having the grappling gun, that's a nice change.
Yeah, and I love that the grappling. I get the little arms of the grappling hook can be folded down like here. So like that's when it's like locked and loaded.
Mm-hmm.
And then when it shoots out, you can, they're articulated, so you can pull them out. So it's in full grapple hook mode,
Yeah.
little details like that are really cool. And just this figure, when I saw this, John, I was like, dang, that's a good looking Webstor. Even the armor, like there's again a little bit of translucent red paint over the kind of shiny gold.
Mm-hmm. Even the
Like,
texture on the armor, it looks
yes.
like it's hammered metal.
Yes. It looks so good.
And he looks like he's smiling a little bit.
He's about to eat you. I love everything about this figure. And there's a bit of reuse here too, but what they've done or what they've changed and added took what could have been, they could have painted by the numbers on this figure and it would have been fine. But they just so many Masterverse figures here that they went above and beyond, much like Too Bad kind of blew us all away. And I think this Webstor's up there as well.
Yep.
All right. And then this one I saw at Nuremberg Toy Fair. And I mentioned how it was in a smaller scale, or at least smaller to the Classics one. So maybe it wouldn't beat the Classics one, but I still thought it was pretty solid. And that is Ram Man. And much like I described there, it's Deluxe, new Eternia. So you got a lot of different armor options and head sculpts. But I think he still looks pretty good. It's just not going to be that big hulking figure that the Classics one was.
Mm-hmm.
But I kind of like his additional armor. Like, it looks pretty cool.
Yeah, I like the armor looks good. So far this is the figure I'm least sold on of the Masterverses for being like over the moon.
Yes.
Although, why do his legs look weird?
I think
go back to that. It almost looks like that there is a rubber suit over legs.
I think you're right.
Because there's no like articulation cut. You see like those ribs just folding a little bit.
Yeah. That's a great call out. I think you're right. So it's like a rubber outline with the articulated knees underneath.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. That's something different. I mean, you can't argue that. I think you'd worry about like how long is that going to look nice. Rubber breaks down eventually, but I think it's a really innovative way to go about it. But do you see what I was saying by it? Just it's not as knock you off your feet, especially when you compare it to the Classics one.
Yeah. It almost looks like his upper body should be just a little bit wider.
Yeah.
For Ram Man anyway, because Ram Man always looked a little odd, like he's so disproportionate for what it's supposed to be, just like a human being that can bash his head and over again. So yeah, he does look a little disproportionate between his legs look so thick, but I assume that's because of the rubber outer shell compared to the rest of his body, where he almost just looks like a smokestack, sort of just straight up and down.
Yep. And that's where I think this additional armor at least bulks him up a little bit more, and he looks better. But I do agree. Again, this was the one I saw in person. Like, it's okay. And that's where it's a shame you can't see this side by side with that Whiplash, because the Whiplash was much larger than this figure. So we'll just have to wait and see how it goes in person. But what about for people that didn't get the Classics one? The Classics one's is it still very expensive? It was very expensive.
Yeah, it's still pretty pricey.
I think this could still be a perfectly good Ram Man for your collection in that scale.
Yeah. And I might change my mind once I get this in hand. This might blow me away.
All right. And then I'm gonna skip here to Grizzlor, who is a figure I just did not expect for us to get in the Masterverse line. They took a different approach with him that I have a feeling is going to divide fans. So let's take a look at him. And I say that because unlike the vintage figure, or even like the Staction, the fur is not on his head sculpt. It's only kind of in his midsection, which ends up just being this kind of overcoat. Almost looks very similar to that Beastman figure that we got. And most of it is sculpted. And for Grizzlor diehards, I don't know if they'll like that as much. I still dig it for what it is. But John, I'm curious to your thoughts here on Grizzlor.
Yeah, he looks. He needs a flocked, not even flocked, but a furry head.
Yeah.
It does look unfinished.
Yeah.
It's almost like it's a new take on Grizzlor, because when it shows him without in the first picture, without it on, and he's a naked body.
Yeah.
Where it's like, okay, is this the direction that they're going? Where Grizzlor was never fuzzy head to toe.
Yeah.
Where he is just a, if they have like a hairy texture on, like a vintage Stratos figure or Zodak, where he's got the you can tell he's got a hairy chest, but it's just little sculpts.
Mm-hmm.
It almost looks like that's what they're going for here, where Grizzlor was never, hairy like that.
He was furred out.
This is more like a fur that he killed an animal, took the pelt, and wears it. Yeah. So I'm if that's the case, like, I'm telling myself that is what it is. That's my story, and I'm gonna be okay with it, because the Horde is my favorite faction, and I'm gonna force myself to like this figure.
I love the bow, bit of a carryover from the Kordak one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's an interesting take for sure. I'm sure you're like, I don't like him, which I wouldn't argue with anybody that's like, I want him furry to the max. All right, another Horde character, this one related to season, I guess the next, it's not season 2, it's a new name for it, but Revolution,
Mm-hmm.
Horde Skeletor. And this one I did see it at Spielwarenmesse as well. And remember how I said I thought it was laser light Skeletor because the Havoc staff was like this translucent red?
Yep.
I really dig this figure. One, because they gave us a better head sculpt, because the original Skeletor head for Revelation was not the best. So they've given us a much better head sculpt. And I think the Horde red looks really good on the Skeletor figure. John, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, this looks really good. I dig the translucent. It looks so much more like crystallized. It doesn't look like it was like, say that came from an animal. It's an actual animal skull. It looks more like magical, or it has that look. That crystal translucent makes it pop a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
And that head sculpt looks so much better than the first Revelation one. The Revelation one looked very cartoony.
Yep.
This one is a great upgrade. It looks so much better. I love the bone color. They got that perfect with the wash. Black eyes. Just blacked out dead eyes.
Yeah. Like a doll's eyes.
Like a doll's eyes. And the cape. Nice addition.
Cape
soft
looks
goods.
Great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The black and red just
doesn't it look so good?
Really good on Skeletor.
Like, it's a good, I could say it's a change up. And again, that's where it's just like there's a bit of a laser light feel to him too, which is cool. All right, John, one last Masterverse figure. And this one again was a shocker for me because I didn't expect this guy to be a thing. And it's another new Adventures figure. And they went all out for this one. And a character I probably wouldn't care that much about. Now I do, because this Slush head looks amazing. Like,
whoa.
Look at this dude.
Look at that face.
Like,
I cannot believe they're doing a Slush head.
And giving us like additional little body, so you have this little kind of this little spider thing.
That is awesome. Wow. Yeah, I love New Adventures. Slush head was always like towards the bottom of my list of figures or characters that I was ever that much into.
Yeah.
But He looks incredible.
Like, I love how the thing that, you can, almost like the Mr. Freeze thing you can move
Right,
along.
right.
It attaches to his back. Like he looks amazing.
Wow. I
And
am
this is a
shocked.
deluxe figure, so and makes sense as a deluxe figure. You're getting so much in this thing.
Mhm. I am shocked they're doing a Slush head.
And just like the modular ability of this thing is so
Mhm.
cool.
I want to know the story. Like, it's great that we're getting this, and it's sort
Yeah.
of like assumed we know who these characters are. But like, I know
Yes.
who Slush Head is with, the way he used to look. But I
Uh-huh.
want to know the story of like why his head is now in a jar crawling around on
Yeah.
the floor,
Yes.
and what that little brain thing is that you take his head out and put that under
Yeah.
the glass. Like, I want to know that. What is going on?
I don't remember that. Yeah, it's been forever since I watched the show. Did that ever happen in the show? I'm trying to remember. Actually.
It could have, but I don't remember it.
It was like one episode. It was like, oh, of
Yeah.
course, in the classic
Oh
episode. Like,
yeah, it was
I
in
don't
that
remember episode.
season 1, episode 87. Don't you remember? It was at minute 4.
I know it's fellow fan just great legendary YouTuber Pixel Dan will be doing these reveals as well. But if I had to guess, he's probably going to be interviewing some. I hope he's going to be interviewing somebody and maybe ask that question.
Yeah, I hope so. This
Um,
looks so good. So good.
right? It's like Slush was not a top figure for me. I like the classics version, but this is just so cool. Like, and
Mhm.
the way they do articulation for his little arms and everything, it looks really good. Looks
Yeah.
really, really good.
Another example, putting classics in this number 2 spot.
Yeah, yep, 100%. 100%. Now we did not get official pictures of the Snake Mountain, but it is here in this huge checklist. So, John, this is everything we've just looked at. Can you believe it took us an hour and 25 minutes to get through it? But John, let's just take one look here at the image they did put for Snake Mountain, because this is the newer one that I saw at Nuremberg Toy Fair. And tell me that's not looking really, really good.
That looks fantastic. Man, I love how they incorporated like the mountain into the gate
Yes.
up top, like made it come to a peak right behind there. It's perfect. Oof, I cannot wait. I want this photo you have up right now. Like, I want this as a checklist poster. Like, can this come with Snake Mountain, like the old checklist that came with the play sets in the 80s?
Yes. Like, we need one of everything so far. So Mattel team, this is just our requests. You make one of every single thing so far. They're like, no, Jay, that would take forever. But please, just can you do it?
Just a poster with all the photos with little check boxes.
I want it on my wall. But yeah, you can see the jaws articulated on that the side snake that goes around the mountain. I love that this is green on the little bridge there. I love these little like tendrils, red tendrils on the little cave on the side. As I said, the chains on the side of the mountain are very rubbery, so you don't have to worry about them breaking. And it does not have the mic, but this little wolf head comes out and you kind of set it around and has a throne room in there. Like, they went all out on this Snake Mountain, and it's gonna be an absolute, like, for people that are waiting for this and want this, they're gonna be over the moon once they get it in hand, because it's looking really, really, really good. And it's been nice to see like each iteration, because that first one, too pink, too whatever. John, thoughts on the wash? Did I describe it right? Like, they got it kind of pitch perfect of the grayish, blackish, purplish.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely. It looks perfect. And even up on top of the peak where it looks a little bit lighter. Like, I know it's Snake Mountain and everything. There's so much lava flowing around it. It's like there's a little bit of snow up there.
We gotta go skiing. Oh my gosh. Well, on that note, John, I think we should wrap it up. again, big thanks to Mattel, who gave us these images to share with you all and talk about today. It's I think I'm supposed to say they gave these images to us for free to share with all of you. So again, big thanks to Mattel for sending those to us, and really excited about all of these reveals. If you want to see these high-res images on your own computer, definitely check out geekdadlife.com. I'll post links in the description below to each section. We're separating them out to all Masterverse reveals, all MOTU Origins reveals. And again, if you know the geekdadlife.com website, there will be full high-res images, and they'll load really quick. So that is where you'll be able to find those. And John, without any further ado, until next time, hasta luego and goodbye. Take care, everybody.